Well, good evening, everyone. It's a little bit early, but I can start with some attendance things here. Have you all had the car problem yet? Anybody get the car problem yet? Can we do a practice? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we haven't done the car problem. No.
No practice, even Lillian?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Anything exciting happen to anybody out there? Did somebody win the lottery and include me in it? Anybody or do something special? I'm pretty quiet. Can you all hear me? Maybe that's the problem. You guys can't hear me.
We can hear you.
I
Nothing
hear
exciting
you.
Yeah, we can
happened.
hear you.
All right. I guess you guys hear me.
We're just boring. Where I am.
All right. I was hoping something good might happen to somebody out there.
Well, did something good happen to you?
Well, let's see. I I was working at the ranch, and this giant bird just came up out of nowhere. Did you guys ever see a crane? You know what a crane is? This thing with the long,
Yes.
Yes,
long.
the long
Long,
legs and long.
long
Yeah.
beach.
So I'm going by this wooded area, and there's a pond there, and I'm not paying attention. And apparently, the crane felt like that was its territory, and it decided to visit me and tell me to stay away. It came about. I I'm going to exaggerate, say it came about a foot near my head, but it was probably about 5 feet. Nonetheless, I went the opposite direction and it decided that that had taught me a lesson. But that thing looks like a giant dinosaur bird if you get close to it. And I'll have a lot more respect now for that bird. But it was kind of scary, really. Anyway, I survived. Barely. Barely. All right, now, Alma, are you here, Garcia?
Here.
I let's see. You still working at that Bath and Body place?
Yes.
Good. That's great. That's great. Amanda, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
See, what can I see about Amanda? I got you. You're good. Amanda, you haven't missed a class yet, have you?
Nope.
That's smart. Angelica,
I'm here.
good for you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're okay.
I know I wasn't here last Wednesday because I forgot, to be honest.
Really? All right. Dylan, are you out there, Dylan? No, Dylan. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got you. I got your note, Dylan. Just no voice. How about Edith?
I'm here.
Hey, Edith, I got you.
Thank you.
You still doing the teaching stuff?
Yes, I'm still there.
We need you to keep coming here. So, Emma, you let here.
Yes, I'm
Emma?
here. I'm
See
here.
if I can mark it. All right. Erica Whitehead.
I'm here.
Man, even with 3 kids, you're still making it. And you
Yes.
haven't missed. Erica, I salute you. That's tremendous.
Thank you.
Really. Gabriel.
I am here.
I got you. Go, Gabriel. And you're pretty good too with your attendance. That's great. Hunter Block. Okay. You still doing good on the video stuff? You are good. Thank you. Indira,
Hi, I'm here.
did you know I was going to call you next?
Yeah.
You never missed either. Congratulations. Jamie, are you around?
Here.
Oh, man, you should kick me.
You're fine.
I'm Nikki. I'm Nikki. Keep getting me.
I'm here. She's here too.
Joshua.
I'm here.
Gotcha, Joshua. You get good attendance too. Lillian.
Hi, I'm here.
I got you. Good deal. You never miss. That's good. That I can tell. Let's see who else. Marissa Flores.
I'm here.
I'm always interested in what you do, Marissa, because I like construction, bricks and stuff. So I know I bring it up, but
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I learned a lot from there.
Reba,
I'm here.
how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. And you haven't missed. That's great. That's a good job. Rebecca.
I'm here.
Rebecca, are you doing okay?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing? Besides the bird.
And you're still married.
Yes.
66 years about of age.
Hmm.
How many times? 3, 4?
Married twice.
Yeah. Good for you. Sharon.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Sharon, where are you from again?
I'm from Mesquite.
Yeah, that's what you say now. That's good. And do you let's see? I have you. You're in the medical supply.
Yes, I still work there. Today also I went for work.
Ah, is that good work?
It's pretty good for my, current work study strategy. It's pretty good.
Okay. Vanessa, are you around? Vanessa says in writing she's here. Okay. Are you still working at the same place? And can you, Vanessa, or are you not able to talk? I guess that answers that. Vin Incio, are you around? Okay. How about Venincio? Are you there? Rivero Aguilana or Agana? No Venincio. Okay. So here's who I do not have. I do not have Jennifer, the medical assistant. Let's see. Lexa, my bowler, not here. No Gillis. The Gillis is there online, I guess. Jordan. Monica Hickson. Monica, missing you. Hopefully you'll join. Rosio Morales. Not there. Tonight, you guys, we're going to do the car problem, I think, too. No Robinson at Southwest Medical. And no Holly. Listen, Holly. If anybody would be my go-to person if someone joins, in case I don't see him, I appreciate you let me know so I give him proper credit. I want to start out with the car problem, first of all, and then we're going to talk about going and when it's due. I think I have the book already zoomed in. Let's just check. I think I do. Yeah, I think we were going to do combination. So I want to go to the calculator. Well, actually, I want to do this. Nah, I think the best way is this. Let's try this instead. Okay, so let's say this is going to be your practice problem for getting you in tune with your homework. So since it's being recorded, thank goodness. If you have any questions, you should ask now. But after tonight, you have to go to your study buddy. This will be your homework problem. So let's say you want to buy a car. And it's around 29,000. Let's say, you know how they do that, 900. It looks like a lot. It's less than 30,000, but it's really almost 30,000. Let's say after, somebody be a study buddy to Amanda. That'd be a lot of fun. It's always good to have a study buddy. So I'd volunteer, but that would be cheating, especially by doing the homework. So let's say you have a trade-in. Let's say you get discounts. And let's say you do some negotiation. So after all this, after you subtract all that stuff, let's say you're at $11,500. So now, okay, I got you, Benicio. You're good. So this is what you're going to find. This is called your present value. That's how much you're going to have to finance. Now, all this stuff in here, in your homework problem, you got to figure it out. And it has to happen in sequence. And in order for you to do the right problem and get the answer correct, you have to make sure your present value is exact. If it's not exact, you are in problem. Your answer will be no bueno, not too good. So all that stuff in that square has to give you the right PV. Now, this is just a sample. This is not the right PV for your homework. If you give me this number, then I know you didn't pay attention. Now, so that's your PV. You also need to know what your interest rate is. Let's start out at 7%, which is simply 7 in the calculator. Your N is the number of payments. Let's say you don't want to do anything for more than 3 years. How many payments would you have in 3 years? Anybody?
36.
Amanda, that's correct. In 3 years, in car payments, you have one payment every month. That's 12 a year. 3 years is 36. So your P/B payments, or P/Y payments per year is 12. In the current year, it's based on a fiscal year, will be 12 as well. For example, if you buy a car in August, your payment will be due in July for 1 year of the following year. And if it went just on annual year, your first year would be over with in December. Most people buy cars in December, and then they pay down a 2-year payment. So it works in a calendar year or fiscal year. All right, so that's it. Now, the only thing we want to know is this. Most people say, but what's my payment? And they always say, well, we can help you out there. We'll just make it 48 months, 60 months, 72 months. Let me tell you, you do never the max that you ever want to go is 48. And it's changing. Look at the technology. In 4 years from now, probably half the cars around town will be electric. Us poor people will be driving gas. And they'll be punishing us by making gas be $10 a gallon. Or the cars will cost a fortune and no rebates. They're just going to make it that way. So it seems. Now, in the farming business with a tractor, I don't know what I'll do. I've seen electric tractors, and man, they look nice, but they don't work. Okay, so this is all the data right here. Now, we've got to go to our calculators. We're going to stop this. We're going to save this. So for this car problem, you have to have a calculator with the finance app. This is the one we're using. There are a couple others out there, but this is the one. Now, let me clean that. So once you get into your calculator, turn it on, you want to go to apps. It's this purple button right here. Boom. You want, most of you all will have in your calculator a bunch of other stuff. Let me see what this one has. Let's see, this one has, yikes. Turn that one off. Just for the fun of it, this is my best one. Let's go to calculator. Man, I got after this, I have like a bunch of stuff. Calibre Junior, Conics, Easy Data, Hub, awesome. All right, but you just need to get to the finance one. That's this. Hit enter. Then you're going to go to TVM Money Solver. That's that one. And here comes your scheme. Now your N, we said was 36. That's correct. Our interest rate for this problem is 7,000. Now we said our bottom line. Did we get what the bottom line cost of that car was? Let's see what that is. After all said and done, we did say that. I don't know. Let's see. Take a look.
11.5, right?
11.5 is exactly it. I like that. Someone kept up with that. So we're going to put 11.5 down here. Your payment should be 0. We don't know what it is. By the way, your present value is positive in this case. Why? Because it's a loan to you. It's money in your pocket. Payments per year are 12, as you can see down below here. And the current year is going to have 12. So we just don't know what the payment is. We don't calculate future value. So we're going to do alpha. This is this green button here. And hit solve, which is enter. And your payment is $355. Man, that's no good. So you go back and you negotiate some more. So hopefully you can see that. And let's say you get, you talk them down to 10,300 by some means. Maybe you got a little bit more for your car, whatever it is. So now you're at 10.3. So let's go back. Which is quite a bit of improvement. 10.3. We want to know what the new payment's going to be. We do alpha solve. It's still over your budget. They are not willing to give you any more money for your car. You are not willing to give more than $300. In fact, it has to be less. So they go to the finance guy and said, okay, let's lower this thing down to 5%. We can get you 5% interest because you paid so much money on your car down. Let's see where our payment is now. Alpha solve. Man, you're close, you say. They say, well, let's try 4.5. We can really probably get it down there, but that's probably about the best we're going to do. So they get it down to 4.5%. They do alpha solve. And you didn't make it. Now the boss walks by and sees this and says, look, where do you need to be? And you say it's got to be less than 300. He said, and he's standing there and he says, okay, let's try 3.5. He says, I don't think we can get it there, but let's see. He says, man, we are almost there by 301, $3 and by $1 we're off at 80 something cents. We got a deal, don't we? And you say, nope. He said, you walk away from the deal with $1? You say, yes. Because that's all I can do. So he says, let's try 3.4. Alpha solve. Didn't work. Let's go to 3. I know what I'm doing here. I just want you to see this. Do the alpha solve for the payment. That's a 299.53. And he says, look, it's 46 cents because it rounds up to 54 cents. We have a deal. And you say, yes. This is the answer for the problem. Now, I want to be very clear. If you give me, and the payment must be negative, it should be a negative number. When it comes out of your pocket, mathematically, it's negative. So you have a negative $299, and you don't write that. You write $299 and not 53 cents. How much is it really? Does anybody know? How much is the payment based on this?
$299.54.
54.
Absolutely correct. It's $299.54, and you have to be exact to the penny, because I assure you, they're not even going to give you the penny after all this negotiation. They won't. That's how you do this problem. I went to it in a minute detail. Are there any questions?
No.
Well, I would have some. Look, this is the key. It's in this box. Now, the question I would have is, when do you get the assignment and when would you like it due? What do you all think?
I think today would be good, and then have it done, or like Wednesday and have it done by Monday or something. I don't know.
That's a good suggestion. Lillian's got an idea. Anybody else?
I'm good with her.
Really? Anybody else? Edith says it's good. This is 10% of your grade. Let me share with you. First of all, you should take a look at the problem. And you should take advantage of every extra credit, because in this particular problem, you can score over 100. That's critical to you guys, because that will bring up your average of your test scores tremendously. Here's what I might suggest. If you look at your calendar, today is the 12th. Most of the time when I give these problems out to in-class students, they'll do a week later. That would be like the 19th. But let me do this for you guys. I will say, let this thing be due. Let's say by September 25th, Sunday night, 10 o'clock p.m. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
That gives you almost 2 whole weekends to do it. And how about I send this out to you today?
Sounds good.
How about if you get it like now?
That works.
Let's
That's
see.
cool with me.
Let's see if anybody check your email. See if anybody has the problem. The homework.
I do.
Anybody?
Got it. Got
Okay,
it.
so what also I did for you all, I included an app that will tell you how to use the calculator. Now, the app is not the homework. If you, and I emphasize this on this video, the app is a practice, just like what I got through doing. If you hand me in the app for your homework, it's a 0, because you didn't pay attention. This you didn't. So, in your study buddies count. So you all have it. You can read it. I went through it in detail, and I hope you feel comfortable doing it, especially since you have so much more time.
I have a
saw the
question.
same thing, yeah.
Angelica, or who else? Alma, who is it?
Yeah, is it sent through our like personal email or the school email?
You where it went to?
The You just said you sent out the assignment.
Yes.
Did you send it through like our email that we have with them, or just like our school email?
School email. That's the only thing we're allowed to use.
Like with our number in it, our ID number?
Whatever one you listed for eCampus.
Okay,
It's
because
not.
I didn't get that email.
I haven't received it either.
I didn't either.
I didn't get that too.
I've been receiving all
Okay.
your other emails.
Okay, hold on.
Like the last one I received was about the reminder for the meeting today.
Yeah, that's the same one it went to.
Yes, that's the last one that I got sent.
Yeah, it went there.
Yeah,
Now,
I don't
it might
see
have,
it.
yeah, unless it got caught in clutter or something. That's what it was sent to. Who is it I'm speaking with?
Me? Oh, it's Alma
What's your last name, Alma?
Garcia.
Yeah, it says it went to you one. I got proof of it here from the computer system.
Can you check for mine, Angelica Morera?
How do you spell your last name?
Moreira.
Yep, went there too.
Okay, I probably just didn't get signed then. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Can you check my two? Is Indira Mukhia, Mukhia.
Indira. You have another name, Indira?
No, sir. This is the one.
Let me check something else. So Indira, maybe you could give some of your email and have it sent to you, but let me check to see why you're not getting it, because I didn't see you're on there.
Okay.
I was also checking my student and my personal email, and I just got it. Never mind.
Yeah, I just got mine too.
Okay, I just received it as well.
So everybody's getting them?
Yes.
Indira, you got
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Can I?
All right. All right, you guys have me all worried and nervous, but Indira, I didn't see you. Are you getting the notices too?
Yeah, I think I have Gmail.
Did you get a notice that class was tonight?
Do we just
Yeah,
email you back our answer, or?
It says in the email.
Okay.
Email tells you everything. We better move on. We don't want to take anything more. Read it. Talk to your study buddies. That's one of the things I really messed up. I shouldn't have sent it till after class, but I wanted to be sure you got it. Let's go on with the class. Here's 2.6. Combinations, composite functions. So in front of you all, now look, let me just say, if you don't get the homework, call me or something. We got to get it here, or call your study buddy. You got to get that homework problem. So I don't want to be flippant about it. I just spent, about 30 minutes of class trying to prep you for it. I don't want to take more away from this class. So this is going to be a function. And you can see the domain on this function. That's your X, or the years. And Y is the number in thousands of births versus deaths. Now look, a country is growing in population as long as the red, in this case, which is births, is greater than the yellow, which is deaths. Can anybody tell me what major country out there is not showing an increase in population? In fact, people were worried about it. Anybody? Give me a guess. Guys still hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I would say probably Iceland or Alaska.
Those are good. Alaska's a state,
Oh
but
yeah,
a country,
country.
a
Yeah.
country, the country that's not. And this concerned the guy who has invented the electric car, kind of known for it, Tesla.
Is it the
Did anybody know? Huh?
Was it the US?
No, look, this is the US. We're increasing in population still. Who's the guy that's in charge of the Tesla company?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
And what did he say? He said the country that worries him the most, one of the very few countries that has a decrease in population that is concerning him, is the country of Japan. Japan is losing population. All right, so look. Now, in this equation, the birth is defined by the b of x function you see there. They have 2x squared, 2.6x squared plus 49x plus 399.4. The death one is the number negative 0.6x squared plus 7x plus 2412. Now, to get the function of where we are in terms of growth or decay, now that's how they call it. Growth is positive, negative is called decay in functions. You'd subtract them. Now, they don't tell you that, but that's what you'll have to do. Doesn't that make sense? If you have 10 people, let's say this. Let me give you my example. I'm going to erase all this. Some people are probably taking pictures of it, so we'll do that. So let's say I have a little island and 10 people were born, bees, and 12 people died. What's the net on this? What is the number here?
2.
And what is it, positive or negative?
Positive.
It's negative.
Negative, sorry.
Yeah, the deaths. So Jamie, when you look at this is called a decaying population or dying population. So I just want you to be sure. Now, if you wanted to list this correctly, you'd say D is the answer here. So you could say it's going down by 2. If you did it like this, 10 minus 12, you'd get the negative 2 like you wanted. And of course, that's a decreasing population. Most people here know that. And I appreciate anybody speaking up. And thank you, Jamie, for doing that. Now, let's go on to the next page. Find the domain of each of these functions. Now, let me go back to my way of sharing you this information. Come on, whiteboard. There we go. My whiteboard didn't work there. Let's say I have x over x minus 6. I want to know what the domain is. The rule in math is you cannot have a 0 in the denominator. If this is equal to 0 in the denominator, it's undefined. So this is no good or undefined. Now, what number in this equation here that I squared would x have to be to give you that situation? Anybody?
6.
Absolutely. So x cannot be equal to 6. Now, this is what it cannot equal. Most students will say the answer to this is 6, but really, in fact, it's every number but 6. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So now the book gives me another problem. It's the same sort of thing. So let's leave this for a second. Let's go back to the book. It gives you 3x plus 2 over, I'm trying to write on the proper thing here, over x squared minus 2x minus 3. Now, you might be concerned about the numerator, but you don't need to be. Because the numerator does not have an effect on this solution. What you are concerned about is the x squared minus 2x minus 3. We have to factor that. Now, I'm assuming you know how to factor, but I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, the hard way. The way I do it the shortcut way is like this. Two numbers multiplied together have to equal -3. Largest have to be negative, so this is the answer right there. But if you didn't know how to do it the shortcut way, again, the last two numbers have to add up, multiply to -3, and they do. And the middle two terms, when you add them up, add up to -2, and that's what they do. But if you did it the FOIL method, x squared minus 2x minus 3, you'd bring down your x squared, you'd bring down your minus 3, you'd say something times something equals a -3, and those same two numbers added together would equal the -2. Now, the -2 comes from the middle one. The -3 comes the number, whatever's in front of here, which in this case is 1 times -3. Now, the two numbers that do that are -3, +1. So this tells you how, boy, that didn't look too good there. Let's say +1. So this tells you how the middle term is broken down. This is plus x because it's 1x minus 3x minus 3. You get that from the way you did this part here. You group them together, always group, factor out the x, you get x plus 1. If you have x plus 1 on the left, you have to have it on the right. What do you have to multiply 1 by to get -3? It's a -3, and you could test it. -3 times x gives you -3x, so your factors are going to be x minus 3 and x plus 1. Now, what makes this factor here 0? Anybody? What does x have to be to make that little package 0?
-1.
Absolutely. Lillian's correct. Now, what makes this one 0? Somebody must know that one.
+3.
Yeah. So x cannot equal 3 or -1. So we can look at the book and you'll see that that's correct. It's on the next page. And you can see x cannot equal -1 or 3. Now, I just would point out one other thing. The middle equation, C, or yeah. What number makes this square root 0? It's a -3. The square root of that, but look, that's a legal number. So C can have any number in it wants. Because the only time this is an issue when the 0 is in where? In what position? Begins with a D, DE.
Denominator?
Mm-hmm. There's no denominator here for C, so you're good to go. Number 2. Now, let me say this for this particular math. I must also say that you cannot have a negative square root, but you can, because those are imaginary numbers. So they're going to say here, for the purpose of this particular chapter, you can only have 0, and then you cannot have a negative number. So the denominator is not in effect in C, but what's inside the square root cannot be less than 0. So the answer for this domain is x has to be greater than or equal to -4. All right, I wanted to mention that. So now we're going to combine functions. That tells you what they want you to do. The first one says, just read after, don't look at any of this other stuff. Just read right there. F of x. F of x is 2x minus 1. That's the f function. What does f of x really equal? Anybody?
It equals x?
Y.
Y.
Oh, what? Yeah.
And what about g of x? What does g of x equal?
X.
It equals y again. Every f of x, g of x, doesn't matter what, they all equal y. They're just two different functions. So it says they want you to add them. So you have x squared, you have 2x plus the other x, you get 3x. You have a -1 and negative, you get -3. You're just adding them. So if you add f of x plus g of x, you write f plus g, you get x squared plus 3x minus 3. And here it is. X squared plus 3x minus 3. Now if you're going to subtract them, the f1 comes first. So you have 2x minus 1 minus the x squared plus x minus 2. You have that all in parentheses. So you're taking f minus g. That's 2x minus 1, subtracting in parentheses x squared plus x minus 2. Why is in parentheses? Because it says you're subtracting the g of x function. You can see that in B, and they'll show it to you right there. So let's look at this again in kind of in slow motion. So we said you have 2x minus 1 minus, in parentheses, x squared plus x minus 2. Well, you have 2x then minus 1 minus x squared minus an x plus 2. Why? Because the minus changes the direction of every one of the things inside parentheses. The x squared becomes negative. The x becomes, inside negative as well, and the -2 becomes positive. So you only have one x squared, so that's negative x squared. You're done with that part of it. You have 2x minus x. That gives you 1x. It's positive. You have a negative, so those are done. You have -1 and 2, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So your answer should be a negative x squared plus x plus 1. And let's see. Negative x squared plus x plus 1. So that's number 2. Number 3. They want you to add them. Well, you can only add like terms. The square root of x plus 3 and the square root of x minus 2. It just ends up like you see in A. You can't combine them. You have just two terms, x plus 3 and x plus x minus 2, all underneath the radical. Then let's just find the domain. Well, the domain in the first one is anything -3 and greater. as you can see in the blue highlight right below it, the bubble. So it's -3 and infinity. The other one's 2 and an infinity. Again, they can't be negative. So if I asked you this question on the test, what is the domain of this function? What can somebody tell me the domain would be? What makes it 0? So there you have it. Nobody spoke up. It's 7. 7 makes it 0, and it's anything positive. Now, on the test, they're going to give you this one, though. Tell me what the solution is this. They are different.
Can you flip
Mm.
the equation or no?
Yeah, 7.
It's 7. So 7 makes it 0. And it's anything less than that. Because if you put a negative in there, a negative makes it what?
Positive.
Exactly. So if you put a -7 in there, that becomes 7 plus 7, 14. This is the critical one. You have to understand this one where it says minus the x. And in the book, I'll show you that one. I'm just kind of guiding you through it. So look at, let's see if it's the next page. No, it'll come around. Now here we have the functions that you just saw. The data from 2000 to 2011 regarding the growth and death functions in the United States. Write a function that describes the population for that year. So you'd add them. A -2.6x and a minus -0.6x. If you're gonna take the birth, subtract the death. So they put it all in parentheses for the birth. They put the death all in parentheses, as you can see. We put the birth first because we know that that population is greater than the death. So we're going to get an increase in population. So a -2.6 minus a 0.6x gives you the -2x squared. 49x minus 7x gives you 42x. And 3994 minus 2412 gives you the function that you see. The b minus d of x equals that which you see. Minus 2x squared plus 42x plus 1582. It's pretty cool. It's a complicated problem, but it's easy. As long as you know that birth minus deaths gives you the population. In this case, it's increasing in the United States. Now, composite functions. Let's go to one. So look, this is hard for some students to understand. A composite function. You simply have to do what it says. But you have never seen the little circle before. You know the function for f of x is 3x minus 4. It's given. The g of x function is x squared minus 2x plus 6. Look at A. A says you have f of g of x. Now, the x is any number you put in it, so don't worry about that part. The f function comes first. So that means your main function is 3x minus 4 because it says so. F is your main function. You can see it read there. Now, the g is plugged into wherever the x is. So look what they show. 3 times x squared minus 2x plus 6. Because what they did is they plugged the g function into that x of the f function. Once you do that, you have 3x squared minus 6x plus 18 minus 4. Now, it's very important that we understand A. What questions might you have about A? Because that's critical. Anybody? Are you guys good?
I'm really confused.
All right, talk to me. Tell me.
I just don't understand, I guess. I don't know.
Yep, that asked me a question. What's your question?
Okay, well, so it's f of g of x, like where you put like, so f of x is equal to 3x minus 4. And so they're putting, I don't know. I don't know how to ask this question.
You don't know how to ask the question.
No.
All right. Anybody else know how to ask a question? I want to answer it.
Yes, I feel like we are substituting the g of x and multiplying it into the x value.
Yes, that's
Something
right.
that is correct. And then we're subtracting it from 4. That is the end constant.
Let me write this up for all those, everyone. I want to be responsive to the First Lady. I want her to feel like Dr. Wick took my question seriously, and I want to be able for her to tell me that I now get it. Who was it that first spoke with me? Anybody want to admit who
It
it
was
was?
me, Dr.
Sharon, right?
It was me. It was
Or
no.
Lily? Lillian?
Yeah.
Okay, so look at
Yeah.
Lillian. Here we go. The first function
Okay.
is 3x minus 4. So y is equal to 3x minus 4. You okay with that?
Uh-huh. Yes.
So if I put a number in this part right here just for the heck of it, 2, what's the answer to this equation then?
2 times 3 minus 4.
Yeah, what is that?
2 times 3 minus 2.
Yeah. Now here's the g of x function. The g of x function is equal to x squared minus 2x plus 6. What does the g of x stand for?
Y.
Okay, now they want us to do this. F of g, and let's say we'll make x 2. But let's not put the 2 in here yet. Let's just leave it of x, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now it says our f is our main function because it comes first, right?
Yes.
So what is the f function?
3x minus 4.
Okay. And it says it wants us to put g in for x. That means all of this goes into here.
Oh, okay.
So that equals what? 3 times what?
3 times x squared minus 2x plus 6 minus 4.
Absolutely. Exactly. Now, let's say, well, to make it easier, let's say this x now is 1. So we're going to multiply this out. This is 3x squared. That was pretty scary.
Sorry.
What was that?
I live by the road.
So minus 6x plus 18. Is everybody okay with that?
3x minus 6x plus 8. Yes.
You get that? Then I'm going to water that down again. That's 3x squared minus 6x plus 14, right?
Yes.
And I said x is equal to what?
To 1.
So what's 3 times 1 squared?
3 squared.
What's 3 times 1 squared?
9?
What's 1 squared?
3.
1.
What's 1 times 3?
3.
3.
Okay, so that's 3. And then what's 1 times a negative 6?
-6.
Okay, and then you have your plus 14. When you add all this up, what do you get?
11.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 plus 4. So that's how you do the problem. And I wanted you to feel like I was giving you the time of day. I don't want to brush you off because this is important.
I get
Does that
that
make
so much more now.
Now, they all
Yes.
different. They're all different. What you're following here is the pattern. What if they write f of g of x like this? That means you have x squared as the main one because it's first minus 2x plus 6. That means you have to plug in the f in every one of these. That means you got to put 3x minus 4 squared in there, minus 3 times 3x minus 4 in this part, plus 6. Now here, they'll show you that. I went too fast on that, but let's look. They're going to do the same thing next. They're going to do B. B says g of f, so the g comes first. And that's x squared, you can see it right here, minus 2x plus 6. But wherever there's x squared, they got to put the g function in there. What's the g function? What does it say there? Or the f of x function. What's the f of x function?
3x minus 4.
Yeah. So you're putting 3x minus 4 in every one of those x positions. And that's how you have to do it. You have to read it. And then at the very end, they said, okay, you know how to do that. Now we're going to put a number in where the x is. So you write the function g of f, and we put 1 in, and you work it out. In this case, that was 1 for that one. Now, forming a composite function, f of g. Your f function is given as 2 over x minus 1. Your g function is 3 over x. It tells you that f is your main function. You put g where the x is. So now you have 2 over x is 3 over x minus 1. Let me do this one for you too, a slow motion. So this makes sense because this is a little bit harder, but not much. F of x, g of x. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to do this a little neater so you can see it. So they say our f function, f of x, is equal to 2 over 1 x minus 1. Says our g of x function is equal to 3 over x. Now they tell us they want us to do f of g, and they don't give us an x. They just want you to do that. So the f is our main function. That's 2 over x minus 1. And that says you have to plug g in for wherever their x is. So g of x is 3 over x. That goes in where the x is. So this is no longer x, it's 3 over x. Now, most students get that part. They say, but how do you solve it? That's goofy. Well, x is a common denominator. anything over, so if x is a common denominator, 1 is really 1 over 1. It's negative. If you give a common denominator, you put x here and x here, that's going to give you 2 over 3 over x minus x over x, because 1x is 1x. It's like this. That's going to give you 2 over 3 minus x over x, because it's a common denominator. To get rid of this denominator, you multiply it by the reciprocal. X over 3 minus x, like this. So anytime you multiply something like that, you get 1 in the denominator. But whatever you do the bottom, you got to do the top. So you have to multiply the top by x over 3 minus x. That gives you 2x over 3 minus x. That's 2x over 3 minus x. This is the only confusing part. If you multiply by the reciprocal, the opposite, you flip them, you get 1. But if you do it to the bottom, you got to multiply the top by the same thing. Well, 2 times x gives you 2x, and you still have the 3x minus that. So the answer should be this. I didn't check it. Let's see. There it is, 2x over 3 minus x. You can practice and look at that one. That is about the hardest one they have. Now, they can make them harder, but so this is the last part. Now, I'm going to show you how this is done because this is really quite easy. And if you read the book, it will be quite hard. But I'll show you the easy way to understand it. So they say they want you to decompose the cube root of x squared plus 1. So you have 2 functions here. We'll call the f of x function. The f of x function is going to equal to the cube root of an x. The g of x function will equal whatever's inside, x squared plus 1. So if you write f of g of x, the f function comes first. That's the cube root thing. And it says the g's got to go inside it. So you got to plug that inside there, which is x squared plus 1. And that's it matches this. You say, I'm confused, Dr. Wick. This is what they gave you right here. You have to break that down in 2 parts. This is part 1 right here. We took the stuff out. The x part, we made that part 2. It's this thing right here. We then said, this is our 1 part. We're going to put the 2 part in it. So we took the cube root, and where we had x, we put in x squared plus 1. Now, if they put a number in here now, that would make it a little more complicated. So let me do this one. Let me finish with this practice. I'll say my f of x function is equal to the square root of x. Let me do this. Let's start out with this. So I want to find out what the f of x function is and the g of x function. The f of x function would be the square root of x, because it's the square root thing. The g of x function would be equal to x plus 2. It's whatever's inside. Now, if I write find f of g of seven. Tell me what the answer would be. Anybody. Then I'll show you how it's done. Should be simple.
Three.
Yeah, Dylan, you're right too. Here's what you do. If you combine them, that means you put the square root like this. That's the f of x function, and you plug this underneath it. So that x plus 2. But we said the x is not really x anymore. It's what? 7. What's 7 plus 2?
9.
Which is equal to what?
3.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, let me go over the attendance. Let's take a look. You have homework in the sense that you, if you don't understand this stuff, you need to look at it. And actually, you had the homework assignment as well. I'm going to go over my list to see who hasn't signed in. Jennifer, my medical assistant, did you make it in? No, Jennifer. Big night tonight, too. No Alexa Fernandez. No Gillis's. No Jordan. Monica, are you here? Monica usually makes it. Monica. Rosio Morales. Gosh, this is the most important class, probably one of them. You guys know the review will be the most important, but that's who else do I have not here? Miss Robinson, my nurse. Are you here? And then Holly, are you here? All right, so I'll call your name if you have any questions. Otherwise, hasta la vista, Alma. Any questions?
No questions.
Amanda. Good night, Alma.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right, Angelica, anything? You good?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Good night, Dylan, Edith.
I'm good, thank you. See you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday, Dylan. No, Dylan. Emma.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Good deal. Erica, Gabriel.
I'm okay, thank you.
Erica, Gabriel.
All is well. You have a nice
Thank
day.
you, Hunter. You got to stay under the end. Indira.
I'm good. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, Jamie. Joshua.
I'm good. Good night.
Good
I'm
night.
good. Good night.
Thank you. Good night, Joshua. Lillian.
Did you get
I'm
Jamie?
good. Thank you.
So Lillian, I hope you feel like you got treated good.
Yes, I did. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Marissa.
No
Marissa
questions.
Flores?
Thank you.
Okay. Nikki, I got you. And Rebecca? And
I'm
Reba?
good. Thank you.
I'm good. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, Rebecca. Sharon?
Yes, sir. Thank
Good.
you. Mhm.
And Venancio, I got you. You there?
Good night.
Good night.
Yes.
Good night. Hunter, thank you. And good night, unless you have a question. Good night. Bye-bye, you all. Bye, Dylan.